You found something you think might be gold? Well, today's video, I'm going to share with you some of the quick ways that you can test to see if the piece that you found is actually gold. Whether you've got jewelry at home or you found something really cool at a garage sale, estate sale, or thrift store, in this video, I'm going to show you the different ways that you can easily test for gold, and then one a little more advanced way. I'll also share with you things to look for when you've got a piece of jewelry that could be gold. My name's Margaret. I've been selling on eBay, Etsy, and other platforms for over 10 years. And one of the things that I love to sell is jewelry. And being able to distinguish what kind of jewelry you're looking at when you're out at estate sales and garage sales can be so pivotal in picking up really nice pieces. Let's take a look at some of the pieces that I've got today and see just with the bare eye if you think you can identify which of these are actually real gold. Here I've got a few different pieces that I have found either at thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, or in jewelry jars or mystery grab bags. And some of these are actually gold and some of them are not. Visually, the first thing I do when I'm looking at pieces like this, especially if it's an earring or something like that, I will look at the part that goes into the ear. A lot of times gold jewelry that has a gold post is leaning closer to being actually gold. A lot of times gold jewelry that does not have a gold post might not be actually gold. Now, there are some that have stainless steel posts on them, but as you can see, this one does not have a gold post, so my gut is telling me it might not be gold. The next thing that I want to look for are, especially on earrings or on pieces of jewelry that have moving parts like clasps, I want to look at the piece that moves around a lot. So if I've got a piece like this that's scratching along it, I'll get in there with my loupe and I'll look really closely to see if that gold coloring has scratched off. So when I look at this one, I can see, I can see where the gold coloring has kind of scratched off, and you can see that base color metal underneath. So when I'm looking at an earring, I will look at the lever that's going in and out. I see that one's got a little scuff on it, makes me curious. And another visual thing to look for is a mark. Now, when you're looking at them, you're looking for a mark that maybe says 14K, 18K. Some older pieces will be 10K. And what that means is it's the carat gold of the item. So most commonly, the most frequent one I find is 14K. If you find a piece of jewelry that says 1/10 14K GF, and you're like, oh yay, 14K. What that means is that it is gold filled. So it's 1/10 14 karat gold filled. So it's not completely gold. Another thing you might see on jewelry that looks gold is you'll look closer at it and it will say 925. You might already know that 925 is a silver marking. And what that means is that this piece is called vermeil. It's something that's got a gold finish over a sterling silver base metal. This is an earring that I've got that is a great example of that. It's a beautiful earring. However, when you look at the mark on the stem, and I'm going to show you the one here on the back of the earring, it's a little easier to see on the earring backing, but it's also stamped onto the stem of the jewelry piece here. You can see that it is 925. So even though it's gold in color, it's just got a gold plating over the top of the sterling silver base metal. Something else to realize with gold jewelry is that not all gold jewelry is made in America. So you might see some other stamps that, if you are not familiar with what they are, could be confusing. I have gotten earrings that have Egyptian stamps. I have gotten earrings with gold hallmarks or gold numbering stamps from the UK. If you see a hallmark stamp or a stamp inside a piece of jewelry that you're not familiar with, a good rule of thumb is to go to Google image search and take a picture and search it out by the picture. That's how I found out that a pair of earrings that I had that had some markings that I didn't recognize what they were, I took a picture of them and they turned out to be Egyptian gold hallmarks. With British gold hallmarks, there are lots of different websites to help walk you through what they mean, but they might have these little stamps that there's a crown, there's a number, there might be a symbol, and these are very specific in the way that they handle their gold and silver jewelry. So one stamp will have to do with the year it was made, another stamp will have to do with the purity of the gold, and then another stamp will even let you know where it was assayed or made or verified. And another thing you might see in some of these British hallmarks, if they don't have all the little stamps, you might see something that is 585. So here you see 585, and that would correspond to our 14 karat gold. And these are all marks that you can find easily on websites. Again, with sterling silver, 925, palladium, gold, and platinum, there's all the different marks and numbers that you might see on British hallmarks. My rule of thumb is if I see a mark and I'm not sure what it is, then I'm going to research it a little more in depth to find out. Another thing to keep in mind is that if a jewelry piece is really, really old, it might not have marks. They might have been rubbed off. If a jewelry piece has been altered, then the stamp or marking might not be there anymore. And sometimes if it's an artisan-made piece, maybe a test piece someone was making in their studio or in a class, they might not have gotten around to marking it. So following some of these other steps will help you find out if what you've got is real gold jewelry. One last thing I want to point out with stamps and marks is that stamps are cheap. So there are people that will try to counterfeit gold by making a piece that's not solid gold or pure gold, and they'll just stamp it 14K, even though it's not. So even if you've got something marked 14K, it might be something that is counterfeit. The next test I like to do is the test I use with a magnet, because it's very easy to do and find out if something is magnetic. If a piece of jewelry is magnetic, it's not going to be gold. So while this one looks fantastic, the quality, the craftsmanship looks really nice. You notice the sawtooth, it's got the gold bar stem there, but when I hit it with the magnet, it pulls right away. There are pieces of gold or silver that might be magnetic. It depends on the base metal that is mixed with the gold, but most of the time, I would say almost all of the time, if it is magnetic, it's probably not going to be pure gold. So here we've got this one, and I'm going to keep that one around for other tests. If you'll take a look at this one, it even looks like a bit of a different color, but when I touch it with my magnet, no. This one here, whoa, somebody's caught. This one, magnetic. When you're working with jewelry that has spring rings though, let's say you've got a jewelry piece that the chain is gold, the spring ring's gold, but keep in mind, let's say you're doing this and just this piece is being attracted to the magnet, that inside the spring ring, there is a little spring. And that spring might not be gold. So you might, this one clearly is not working that way because the whole thing is not gold. But if you might have something that the little spring inside is magnetic, but the rest of the piece is not. Here I've got this piece. Ooh. So when I grab it, it is pulling to the magnet. My pendant is not. Let's take a look at this one. This one is not. And this is the one that I was thinking was probably not gold, and I thought this one probably was gold. So it's good to double check in other ways. And then these, quite heavy, not magnetic. And if I were out in the wild and I saw all of these pieces, the ones that in my gut I would look at and say gold, not gold, I would probably say not gold. Not gold based on the color. These I would say not gold based on the weight. This one I just at first glance without looking closer would have thought, oh, that might be gold. This one I would probably think was silver with a gold covering. This one I would think because it's really lightweight and it's got the gold. So that one probably would have made me think, oh, gold. And this one, not gold. So let's see at the end. And this one is like mystery because the color is a little bit interesting and it's got a bit of a tarnish there. So I'm like, I wonder. And this is just with the naked eye, not having checked anything else. I wanted to share that before we went any further. The next test that I would do if I was out and I wasn't ready for something more advanced is there's a test you can do with makeup. What you'll do is take some foundation. I've just got a little concealer here, and you'll put a little bit on your hand, like so. And then you'll spread it around and let it dry. You want to make sure that it has dried. I'm holding off sharing if there's any marks on these because I want to get all the way to the end and show you that sometimes the pieces of jewelry that you're testing could throw you for a loop. But I'm wondering if this one might be plated or filled, but it's not very dark. I can't quite decide. Then I've got my pendant here. Here you can see when I draw my line, it is definitely a dark black streak. This was the one that ended up being magnetic that I thought maybe was going to be gold. Nope, no line there. Not like that one anyway. Here's this one. No line. Then there's these big ones. Oh, now look at that. That one's got a black line. And let's take a look at this ring. That's this really dark, kind of different color. Oh, wow. That one's definitely showing up with a black line. Let's look at this one again because I'm curious. Like it showed up a little bit, but not a lot. See? Not like the others for sure. Let me try it down here again. No. Another thing to keep in mind with jewelry is that this, there are different parts of it that could or could not be gold. So there's this piece, and then there's the part that goes into your ear. When you're working with a necklace or bracelet, you would have the chain, you would have the spring ring or the closure. So you've got a few different pieces to test there. This is a quick test if you're out and about, if you just happen to have some makeup on the back of your hand. When you go out to garage sales, you can do a quick swipe across the back of your hand. And you don't have to carry a fancy schmancy makeup. You could just go buy a cheapy bottle at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. This one's just some concealer, but you don't have to have anything fancy. Just get a little cheap bottle of CoverGirl or something from the Dollar Tree. Things are getting a little more serious. I've got the gloves on because we're going to do a acid test. What I have here is my home gold and silver acid testing kit. I got this on Amazon. I have it linked down below. And this is something that I started using when I started selling a bit more jewelry. And I wanted to really make sure that the things I was selling were actually correct and that they were what was marked on them. So I'm going to go through these. We're going to do this in 2 phases, and then we'll come back and we'll test the other pieces as well. So we already had a pretty good idea that these 3 were not going to be gold, but I wanted to show you what it will look like if you've got something that is or is not gold. On this one, I'm going to scratch the metal kind of further back. I don't want to damage the piece. So I'll take this, and maybe I'll use this part right up here, and I'll draw a line on my testing stone. Then I will take this piece, again, I'll probably use the same spot, and there's that. Then this piece, I want to do maybe the frame of it, but I'll use it on the top at the back here. Okay, and then my pendant that did turn my hand black. All right, you can kind of see a little bit of a difference in the coloring of the streaks. This one looks more yellowy, but let's get started. I generally will start with my lowest acid test to start with, because what will happen, I'll put a little dot, and if that dissolves under that acid, then I will know that that piece is definitely not going to be 10 karat gold, and I can just stop right there. So as you can see, this one, that line has pretty much dissolved all the way. This second one looks like the line is still there a little bit. This one, it's pretty much dissolved, and this one's not. Did this one hit the magnet? Oh, that one did. And so did that one. Okay. That one is also magnetic. Curious. Okay. Next up, I'll pull out my 14 karat gold acid. And I don't even have to bother with the two that have already dissolved. That one is still there a little bit. Makes me wonder if it's gold plated or gold filled. So I'll put a little line there. Oh, it's gone immediately. Put a little line there. So because this one is showing me that it's still kind of there with the 10K, it makes me wonder if it might be gold plated or gold filled. I'll have to look a little closer when I pull out my loop to see if there's any marks. And then this pendant, you can see my 10 karat gold, the line is still there. 14 karat gold, the line is still there. And the next test would be the 18 karat gold. And when I put the 18 karat gold on, you can see it's gone. So now it has dissolved. So with this test, this piece, I would say, was 14 karat gold. All right, moment of truth on the marks on these. None of these are marked. This is why they ended up in my gold testing bag, because this one was not magnetic, which made me really curious. This one looked gold, but was magnetic and actually tested positive for 10K, which makes me think that it's either gold filled or gold plated. This one looked such high quality that I thought, man, this might be. And so that one ended up in my testing kit. And then this one, also not magnetic, looked really nice. It's not marked anywhere that I can find. So when the time comes for me to list this pendant, I will make sure that I show that I've tested it. I might make a little video showing the test that I've done and say it tests positive for 14 karat gold. However, it is not marked. Let's go ahead and test these. We already know this one is probably not going to be gold, obviously. We already know this one isn't gold, but I wanted to show you the test on this one anyway. This one actually is marked, so we'll get to that in a second. But it's very curious color, not magnetic. This one was not magnetic, and these two both left the black streak on the makeup. And then this was my piece that is marked 925, but I wanted to show you how it would test under gold testing, and if you've got something like this, how you would know that it's actually silver. Let's draw our marks. Looking at these marks, just with the naked eye without even testing them, these two look the same, kind of goldy. And then this one, even though it's gold in color, marked 925, you can see that the streak on it looks a little more silver or gray. Starting with that 10 karat gold acid, starting with this ring, you can see there the line is definitely still there for the 10K. This one, you can still see somewhat that the line is there. It's a little fainter. And then, of course, on our ring that was 925, it is definitely gone. It's just the angle. You can kind of see it there. The angle just got it kind of weird for that one right there. All right, so let's pull out the 14K. Oh, I grabbed the 18K by accident. Here we go. 14K. That's better. 14K there. Oh. 14K there. Oof, gone. So this one, you can definitely still see it for 14K. I'm a little curious on this one. It looks like the colors have pretty much gone. And then this one, of course, it has. And then here's my 18K. I've already done that one. Here we go with 18K on this one. Gone. But watch what happens when I do 18K on this one that's 925. Take a look. Try not to let them touch. What are you noticing? On the 925, when you hit it with the 18 karat gold acid, it starts turning this milky, silvery color, milky white, kind of silvery. So that is a way to test silver with the 18 karat gold acid. I am really curious about this one because it did pass the makeup test. So we're going to look a little closer at that. But first, let's see what kind of marks these jewelry pieces have. This piece, I bet you can even see it with the naked eye. This ring, as you can see right there, has a 14 stamped on it. It doesn't say 14K. It doesn't say, it's clearly an older mark. And as you can see, it's a much older piece of jewelry. Some of it looks like it might have some repairs that have been done. As you can see, some soldering marks. It has been cut. It looks like it's been through the ringer a little bit, but it is 14 karat gold. And this is a piece definitely needs to be cleaned up, but I would maybe test this with my Presidium gem tester. It's gone through the ringer a little bit, this piece. But what has me really curious is this one. This earring is marked 14 karat gold. My curiosity is that this one passed all the tests except for the acid test. I'm seeing some wear on it there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to repeat the tests for this one because it passed the makeup test, it passed the magnet test, but it didn't pass the acid test. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test this part, the hoop, and I'm going to test the post. But when I rubbed it on my hand, I rubbed the hoop part. Let's double check this. That's the hoop, post. Let's try this again. 10 karat gold. If it is truly 14K, the 10 karat gold mark should stay put. I wasn't imagining things earlier, right, you guys? Y'all saw it too. Look, now it's staying put. I wonder if I scratched the wrong thing. No, it's starting to disappear on that, isn't it? On that top one. Look, totally gone there. Curious. Here we have a piece of jewelry that is a little deceptive. The post is testing 14 karat gold, but the hoop part is not. You can still see a little bit of the 10 karat there, but the 14 karat gold on the post is totally gone. And with the 18 karat, gone. 18 karat, gone. Oh, tricky, tricky. So this one, and I wondered, I was like, it's quite heavy for the size of it. I'm going to come back to my makeup on my hand and see, did I miss something there? Guess it shows you that the makeup test is not foolproof, huh? So interesting. So if I didn't have my gold testing kit to be able to verify that this part is not testing as 14 karat gold, but the stem is, then I might have gotten into some trouble by selling these as full 14 karat gold earrings when they are not. It goes to show that the makeup test is not foolproof. I am definitely going to be doing a little more research on these earrings because I'm very curious about them. But this piece with the unusual mark with the 14 does test out at 14 karat gold. This one with no mark tests out 14 karat gold. And then some of the others that were not gold tested not gold. If you're interested in getting a gold testing kit for yourself, I have a link down in the description below. I hope you found this video helpful and that you're able to go out there and find some gold for yourself. Good luck, treasure hunters!